Welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Sim news video for PC and Xbox here on the pilotstudd channel. Without further delay, let's get right into it. So we'll kick it off with TurtleBeach, who have announced the Velocity 1 Flight Stick Universal Simulation Controller. This is a very interesting peripheral that will be making its way to our flight sims in November. It's an all-in-one flight stick really. All the controls are sort of integrated onto one easy-to-use stick. Now of course it's not just a stick, you've also got a flap lever on there and of course your throttle. It isn't the easiest to see what every single one of these is meant to do, but there's 27 different programmable buttons and there's plenty of axes to map as well. From of course the stick, which is able to twist, so you've got yaw there, to your throttle lever, to your flap lever. I also noticed with the throttle you can also do reverse thrust, so there must be some sort of detent there, which is really good. And even the fact you can twist what is called the flight configuration wheel, which sits at the bottom of the flight stick. Now because this is designed with PC and Xbox in mind, some of the buttons of course are more suited to Xbox. I think the ones that are more suited to that stand out, such as the Xbox logo, but you know, this is clearly attempting to work with every single platform of flight simulation that we all use, so in this case PC and Xbox. It's great value for money it seems, especially in today's world. This comes in at 120 UK pounds or 130 US dollars. Now some of you might think, well, that's a bit expensive for just a stick, but to be fair, this isn't just a stick. You've got everything you need to actually be able to fly a plane on a flight sim on here, and the fact you've got all these buttons to program hopefully means if you want a really simplistic setup, this is the only thing you need to buy. Now of course most people will add things like rudder pedals, maybe even a few panels here and there, and I'd personally prefer a separate throttle quadrant, but if you haven't got the space, or if you haven't got the funds, whatever your excuse is, this definitely is a fantastic alternative, and it's even got a very nice OLED display right at the top of the stick that seems to have a clock built in, and the ability to monitor your axes, your trim, and what you're connected to. If you fly on combat flight sims like War Thunder and DCS, they've also done that in mind, with a trigger and a sort of bomb switch, I guess, on the top of the stick. They seem to have got everything covered really, from VR to combat flight simming to your standard Microsoft flight sim. Hopefully with TurtleBeach it will feel high quality. I haven't owned any of their products recently anyway. I've never tried any of their flight simulation products, but for £120, you know, it's definitely good value in my opinion anyway, with everything being integrated. And of course the fact you've got your throttle and flap levers on there is very nice as well, as I've already said. I notice as well the sort of hand grip that allows you to rest your hand can also be moved up and down. I don't know whether or not this is ambidextrous. I'd imagine it would be. I can imagine you can flip some stuff around to make sure it suits left-handers. That would make sense of course, otherwise they are splicing off a good bit of their market. This will be released on November the 19th. Leave your thoughts on it down below. Now moving over to Microsoft Flight Sim add-ons. SimWorks Studios have shared some more details of their Dash 7, which is a joint venture between SimWorks Studios, of which I just mentioned, and Pilot. Now because of illness there's been a slight delay here, but they seem to be back on track. It did mean that the project being handed over to Pilot, who are doing most of the sounds and some other final bits of the product, compared to SimWorks Studios, who have of course done most of the external model and the cockpit, and I also believe the coding as well. There was a 2-week delay there. Now because of this delay it hasn't been moved over just yet, so there's been a bit of a delay there, but it should be moved over to Pilot soon. In terms of what SimWorks Studio have been doing, they've been working on cockpit lighting. Interior cockpit lighting is now past the 50% mark. Flight dynamics as well, I've seen some minor tweaks in terms of ground handling. They've said also the flight model has been complete since July and has been performing as expected, which is great before the updates in Microsoft Flight Sim over the last few weeks. All in all, a fantastic product. Of course, this should be coming over to PC and eventually Xbox. It will be payware, but no information on pricing just yet. It seems to be getting on really well. I cannot wait to see it. Now moving over to a very interesting, quirky British airliner. We've got the BlackBox Simulations Short 330. Now this was made by the Short Brothers company in Northern Ireland, and it was designed as a low-cost sort of high density airliner that can go in and out of rugged airports. Now it is a very ugly aircraft, I'll give you that. It looks more like a bus than it does a plane, which I guess brings a whole new meaning to Airbus. Not too many of these fly around nowadays, but I do think some of them still do exist. We've only got one screenshot and not much more information, so I'd just like to say and put it out there that this is being worked on. So if you're into this aircraft, which to be fair, why would you be? Joking aside, everyone's got their favourite planes, of course. Then it's being worked on now, so that's quite cool. This was on the Microsoft Flight Sim forums. Moving over to a released aircraft, CJ Simulations have released their first aircraft for Microsoft Flight Sim, the Eurofighter Typhoon, of course, the British aircraft that's used by air forces across the world, first flying in 1994. Jet fighters in Microsoft Flight Sim and military aircraft on the whole are certainly an acquired taste, but this one seems to be pretty cool. I haven't tried it out myself yet. It comes in at a price of around €30, which is what, about 26 UK pounds, available exclusively through Just Flight. It will be coming to Xbox, released on the marketplace shortly, but no exact date has been given here. It's got all the stuff you'd expect, a fantastic 3D cockpit as well, and by the looks of it, they've been custom crafted, but please do be aware this is not study level simulation. 1, because it's a fighter jet, and 2, because that's not the business model CJ Simulations go for. Codename Jack, who of course is CJ Simulations, has worked with DC Designs for some time, and of course DC Designs has helped out here. It's quite nice in a way. I wish them good luck with this launch of a new product and in turn a new development company. Now finally, some bad news for those of you who are on Xbox. WASM support on Xbox has been delayed for a couple of months until Sim Update 12. Now of course it could get delayed even further, but at the moment this is looking like early next year. This is a big problem because WASM support is fundamental to bringing over add-on aircraft to Xbox, of which many of you in the comments have been excited for. From the PMDG 737s to the Just Flight BAE 146, most of these aircraft, or at least all of them I've just said, require WASM support, and if that's not on Xbox yet, it cannot be brought over. So it's a bit annoying. You will have to play a bit of a waiting game. I know it's been delayed before, but don't shoot me, I'm just a messenger. The Asobo team are working as hard as possible, I'm sure, but it must be a bit more technical than I've previously envisioned, otherwise they wouldn't have delayed it. So I wish them good luck to it. I'll just say, just be patient with them because I'm sure their workload is very heavy at the moment, especially with Sim Update 11 coming soon. Some sad news, but at least it's still coming, for now at least. From me today, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and check out my Amazon affiliate links for all the stuff I use to fly, film and edit down below. You've been watching the PilotStudd channel. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for your continued support. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.